Okay, this is my movie roundup. And the reason why I'm doing movie roundups is because I'm not going to waste everybody's time doing movie reviews because I really don't have the time to do them anymore. So I like to do them all on one video now. So that way I don't have to hear about it 1,000 people. What about this movie? Did you see that movie? Did you see that movie? What about that movie? Well, Dope. The movie's almost out of the theater, but what a movie it was. I love Dope. I've seen Dope about 2-3 times at the theater. And it's a coming-of-age story about kids in the hood, inner city, and dreams of ambition from those who are basically eclectic type people. And they get caught in a situation that's, it's kind of a little bit like risky business, with Tom Cruise. And these kids have a moment where they have to grow up real fast. And it's comedy in it, and laughter, and a lot of jokes. I don't want to tell the movie, because I feel like that's part of the surprise. But the word dope goes along with these basically inner city kids who are caught in the pop culture of 1990s. When I first saw the movie, I thought it was 1990, like they went back to 1990. But it plays out a little bit like The Wood meets Risky Business. So that's Dope, and Dope is definitely a 4-star movie. Probably one of the 10 best movies I've seen this year. Now, let's go into the more modern movies I've seen that probably didn't get any reviews for myself. What else has come out? Terminator Genisys. I've enjoyed the movie. This is the shock. I actually had no problem with the Terminator movie. I mean, yes, there are holes in the plots. A lot of things didn't get explained. But the way they kind of played this movie, they played it as if like they're going to do other movies that might explain this movie. But at the end of the movie, you're like, well, how? How would they be able to do that now that they've done this? But that's why they call it movies, They can make anything happen. They can bring anybody back. I like the way they explain how Arnold's old in this movie and why he's old in the movie. The movie did a great job of explaining that because it made sense in the end. Because of course when you watch the trailer, which gave up a lot of good key points that could have been great in the film, we didn't need to see John Connor as the Terminator in this one when we already had another Terminator in it. And a lot of stuff was just so confusing and chop it up. But as you watch the movie, it's a pretty enjoyable movie. You just won't probably remember it once it's over, but I'd say it's about a 3-star movie. It was pretty entertaining. But similar to the last Terminator, it gave up too much in the trailer. And I think it hurt it. And moving right along, we have AntMan. AntMan to me was probably one of the best Marvel movies they've made. It's definitely in the top 5 that I can remember off the top of my head. AntMan is the type of movie that focus more on not special effects of all these different Marvel characters. It's regular people doing a job of acting to make one guy the star. Sort of like Iron Man, except for he was an eccentric rich guy already. And most superheroes, they come up from money, or they billionaires. Spider-Man wasn't like that, and neither was Ant-Man. And I love Michael Douglas's character as the original Ant-Man character. And how he passes the torch along, and his time, and his dialogue, his comedy, and the fact that no one knew how Paul Rudd would do in this role. Him playing a superhero, no one could see him with a six-pack running around doing all this stuff, but the special effects in here were amazing. From when he goes big to small, I said, man, this is pretty good the way they did it in the concept. And the guy that played the Yellow Jacket, the villain of Ant-Man, I mean, he was on cue, with every performance. And, you really understood him. You were sympathetic to him even though he was the villain. Because you kind of see what driven him. He was driven from being shunned his entire, basically, career, and he's ambitious. And it's just like a Lex Luthor type, but definitely an enjoyable movie. 3 stars. I mean, I'm quite sure Ant-Man is going to do pretty well in the theaters, and we'll get a sequel, and we'll probably see more of Ant-Man in the Avengers movie, with the new Avengers coming up. Now, moving right along, we have Trainwreck. Trainwreck was an amazing film with Judd Apatow's film, written by Amy Schumer. And from the works of this one, I don't know if this was just something based on her life in general, but she should probably write all Judd Apatow's film. It had Judd Apatow's feel with the celebrity appearances and the dramatic tones and how everything's extra long, longer than it needs to be, and things are extra drawn out. But Judd Apatow, same thing, couples is what he likes to focus on, dramatic comedy. But Amy Schumer actually hit her key points. There were certain dramatic key points that she hit, like Meryl Streep type acting, and it took a professional actor to really hit those type of notes. I mean, those key points, and to get those moments is very hard for a comedian to do that. That took skill, and I said, wow, she has a lot more to her than just her being funny. She actually has depth as an actual actress, so she can do a variation of different things. And John Cena, to me, stole the show more than like LeBron James. Everyone was talking about LeBron James' performance in the movie. I think John Cena roles was probably some of the funniest work in the movie. In the first scenes, and I just think this movie, like, even when you thought it would get dull, you had breakout performances to keep the comedy going, like her dad. He reminds you of every old bitter man who has jokes about the city and town, and he's just hates liberals, love the Mets. Everybody can relate to a dad like that. He's not politically correct. So the movie teaches you, it's basically the growth of a person who was basically broken and looked at the outside world as far as couples, relationships, and looked at all that as a joke and just didn't fit in, and found a way to want to fit in and try to make the changes in that life, or basically saying, I'm gonna make a change in my life to try to make this work because I care enough about that person. But before all that, that person was a train wreck. Hence the name Trainwreck. Next, we have Pixels, the video movie game by Adam Sandler. Movie should have been great, but it was not. I mean, the video game parts, the stuff you see on the trailers, is the best parts of the movie. When the video game stuff is happening, it's amazing, it's great. We've seen it on the trailer. All the other stuff is complete trash. I mean, I'm sorry. It's complete trash. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how to describe it any more than what it is. besides to call it what it is and what I think it is, and it's complete trash. You don't believe any of it. Kevin James is the president of the United States. I mean, that's ridiculous enough as it is. Adam Sandler's working at Geek Squad, and he just comes to install video games, and he's already hitting on the guy's mom, who just got dumped by her husband as soon as he walks in. Next thing you know, they're having wine in a closet. None of this stuff is believable, and believe me, this is the first 10 minutes of the movie, basically. All of this stuff happens so fast, and they just see one formation pattern of an attack and say, hey, wait a minute, isn't that Gallagher? I mean, just looking at a satellite pictures of formation of things attacking, planes or whatever, they don't even know what it's about, but they're like, isn't that Gallagher? That's your first response? The movie's just completely not believable. And the jokes they thought would be hits, in the movie they pause because they expect laughter in the audience. So sometimes when they land their big home run jokes, there's a pause because they expect the audience to just be in a laughter, and then the movie kicks back off with a line. So when they dropped the joke, no one laughed. And it was just this dead silence for no reason in the movie. Because people are like, why is this just silent? and that's how you know this didn't test well. Or they didn't shoot a testing for the movie. Because that joke would have been modified or cut out. And this is the problem with Adam Sandler movies. They write movies, and then they write right after they're filming the movie, they're writing another movie. They go from one movie to another movie. And that's the way they like to perform, and that pattern is not working. Adam Sandler should take a break, make a movie, test screen it, and let the people tell you what's wrong with the film. And then, because you're trying it this way and it definitely isn't working. And if something's broken, you try to fix it. And see, okay, well, I got away with doing this early on in my career. Now people are used to my slapstick and they're not liking it. And it's because it's like Adam Sandler never shows up in character. He's just Adam Sandler in every movie he's ever done. He's just Adam Sandler. Hey, what's up? Slouchy, jogging pants, jogging suit, the t-shirt that don't fit, complete Jewish guy in the movie. And he's Adam Sandler. And that works for a couple of films, and then people get tired of it. You have to be something else, or at least try to be the character. Sylvester Stallone, as much as we see him, he's not Rambo and Rocky in all of his films. He at least tries to be the character of what the character is in the movie. Even Arnold attempts to be the character in the movie. Even though he sounds like Conan some of the times, he still attempts to try to be the character in the movie. Something Adam Sandler just, I guess, cannot do. So, that is my movie MASH. And I'm out.